Hey folks, Michael from Essential Guitar Lessons, and let's learn Perfect by Ed Sheeran. So this is an awesome song for beginners. As usual, I'll break this into sections for you to make it easy to learn. We'll look at the chords used and the best ways to transition between them. Then I'll show you the different parts of the song and the finger picking to it, and we'll finish with the structure of the song. Now the chords we'll be using are G, E minor 7, C add 9, D, and a D suspended 4th or a sus4, with the capo on the 1st fret. So if you already know how to play these chords and you can easily transition between them, jump ahead to the parts of the song. I'll leave the times in the descriptions. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. Heaps of songs and lessons to come. If you're having any problems with this song, or there's a song you'd like to learn, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. So let's make a start with the chords. So because we've got our capo on the 1st fret, we'll be calling the 2nd fret number 1, the 3rd fret number 2, and so on up the neck. So our first chord's a G chord. We're going to take our 3rd finger, place that on the 3rd fret, on the B string, and then our little finger, also on the 3rd fret, but this time on the bottom E string. Your 2nd finger on the top E string, also on the 3rd fret, and your 1st finger on the 2nd fret on the A string. Stay on the tips of your fingers and to the front of the fret, and that's our G chord there. Then we have E minor 7, so we're going to leave our 3rd and 4th finger on the 3rd fret. We're not going to move those, and we're going to do an E minor with our 1st and 2nd finger. So take your 1st finger, place that on the 2nd fret on the A string, and then your 2nd finger also on the 2nd fret, but this time on the D string. Leave your 3rd and 4th finger on the 3rd fret on the B and the E string, and we have E minor 7 there. Now we have the C add 9 chord, and again we're going to leave our 3rd and 4th finger on the B and the E string. They're not going to move. Take your 2nd finger, place that on the 3rd fret on the A string, and then your 1st finger on the 2nd fret on the D string. Try not to play the top E string, and that's our C add 9 there. So we have 3 chords where we're not moving our 3rd and 4th finger. G, E minor 7, and C add 9. Then we just have our standard D chord. The best way to get this one: 2nd finger, 2nd fret on the bottom E string, 1st finger also on the 2nd fret, but this time on our G string, and 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the B string. Don't play the E and the A string, and we have our D chord. And then we have a D sus4 chord. So all we have to do, we leave the D shape and we add our little finger on to the 3rd fret on the bottom E string there, and that's our sus4. So we have D and D sus4. And they're the 5 chords we're using. So let's have a look at the transitions now. So our chord transitions are fairly easy. The first one is G to E minor 7. So we're starting on our G chord, and all we have to do is move our 1st and 2nd finger there. And all you're really doing is moving your 2nd finger down to the D string. We're leaving our 3rd and 4th finger on for that change there. So G, E minor 7. Then we have E minor 7 to C add 9, and again that's a really easy change. E minor 7. Now we're just moving our 2nd finger up to the 3rd fret, and then putting our 1st finger down to the D string. So E minor 7 to C add 9. Then we have C add 9 to D, and again that's a fairly easy transition. C add 9, you can leave your 3rd finger anchored, lift your little finger off, and then just place your 1st and 2nd finger down there for the D. So C add 9 to D. We have D to D sus4, and again a really easy one. D, just put your little finger on for the sus4, and we can go back off for the D there. Then we have D to G, and again another fairly easy one. D to G. We can leave our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, this time on the B string. We don't have to lift that up. Put your little finger down and move your 1st and 2nd finger up to the top 2 strings, and we have D to G. We have C add 9 to G, and again that's another really easy one. C add 9, all you have to do is lift your 2 fingers up your first and second finger to the top two strings and you're on G. We have G to D, again another fairly easy one, G, leave your third finger down on the third fret on the B string and just move your first and second fingers down there. You don't have to lift up your third finger, so G to D. And our last one is D to E minor 7, so again fairly easy, D, leave your third finger anchored, place your little finger on and move your second and first finger up there and we have E minor 7, so D to E minor 7. So they're all our transitions, there's nothing too hard in there. Let's have a look at the parts of the song now. So the first part we're going to call verse 1. We have G, E minor 7, C add 9, D, G, E minor 7, C add 9 and D. The only change is we're going to add the D sus4 at the end there. Most of them go for a bar, so let's start on our G and we're going to be using our fingers for this one. So I'm going to play the root note with my thumb on the G chord and use my first and second finger there on the B and the G string. Now you can use your second and third finger there, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we're going to play those three strings together. And then he uses a triplet pattern for a count of 4 and we're just playing the B and the G string. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's a pattern we'll be using throughout the whole song. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we go to our E minor 7. Root note still on our top E string. So we're going to play that with the B and the G string and then just the B and the G string again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have G, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, E minor 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're only playing that bass note on the first count there. Then we have the C add 9, this time our root note's on the A string, so we play those together, and again we do a bar there, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now when the D comes in, this is where it changes. We're going to play the B and the E string now with our first and second finger, and our root note's going to be on our D string. And we'll do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do a hammer on to our sus4. So we're hammering on with our little finger onto the third fret and just playing the B and the E string. 1, 2, 3, and then back to the D. 1, 2, 3. So that D, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hammer on, 2, 3, and then back to D. 1, 2, 3. And that's our first line, so let's do that slowly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, E minor 7, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, C add 9, our D, sus4, and back to D again there. The next line's going to be exactly the same, G, E minor 7, C add 9, it's just a D, we're going to change a little bit at the end there. So our G again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, E minor 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, C add 9, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This time we're going to do the D, we're going to do our triplet, so one lot there, 1, 2, 3, our sus4 for one triplet there, 1, 2, 3, and then we just go back to the D and let that ring for another 2 counts there. So on that last D, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's put that verse 1 together now, starting on the G. E minor 7. C add 9, our D, sus4, D, back to the G, E minor 7, C add 9, sus4 and hold there, and that's verse 1. Now we have the pre-chorus, and we're going to call this pre-chorus 1. It's nearly exactly the same. We're going to have G for a bar, E minor 7 for a bar, C add 9 for a bar, then G and D both for a half bar, then G, E minor 7, C add 9 for a bar, and then we have our D with our D sus4 again. So we play G exactly the same as before. G, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. E minor 7, exactly the same again. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. C add 9, the same. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This time we have the G, and we're doing 2 lots of our triplets this time. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then D, 2 lots of our triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we just go back to our G. 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. E minor 7. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. C add 9. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 triplet on the D. 1, 2, 3. Our sus4 hammer on. 1, 2, 3, and then our last D again. Just hold there. So let's play that through up to speed now, starting on our G. E minor 7. C add 9. G for half a bar. D. Back to our G. E minor 7. C add 9. D. And that's our pre-chorus 1. Now let's have a look at our chorus. So our chorus now is E minor 7, C add 9, G and D, but this time they're all for half a bar. We play the chords exactly the same. So our E minor 7, root note and B and G string first, but this time we're only doing 2 lots of our triplets. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, C add 9, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and our D, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's our chorus. Let's do that up to speed. C add 9, G, and D. And then we have our chorus end. Now this only changes slightly. The chords are still E minor 7, C add 9, G and D, all for half a bar. But when we play the E minor 7 this time, our root note's going to be on the A string there instead of the E string. So it's exactly the same. C add 9, G, and our D. And up to speed. C add 9, G, and D. So the only difference there is our root note on the E minor 7, and that's our chorus end. And once we've done that, then we have our fill. So let's go through that. So our fill, we're starting on the G chord, but because we're only playing the 3rd fret there, we don't have to hold down the rest of our fingers, and it makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to play our root note first, 3rd fret top string, and then we're going to have the open D string and the open G string. So then we're going to go to D over F sharp. So we're going to change our fingers, put your first finger on the 2nd fret on the top E string and your 2nd finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, and again we play the same strings. So E, D, and then G. So we have D. Then we have an E minor. Again, we're playing the same strings. This time all you have to do is place your 2nd finger on the D string on the 2nd fret, play the open E string, the D string and the G string there. So now we have so the start of that one's fairly easy. We don't have to put all our fingers down because we're only playing certain strings there. So G, then we go to the D chord. This time we're playing the D string, the G string and the E string. So D. Then our C chord, This time we're playing the A string, the G string and the E string, and we do that twice. And then we just finish on the D chord, and we're going to pick the D, the G, the B and the E string to finish that fill off. And that time I'm using my first, second and third finger and my thumb for the root note. So let's do that slowly now. And our D to finish. And up to speed. So a little bit tricky, that part there. Now let's have a look at verse 2, which is our next part. So verse 2 is going to be exactly the same as verse 1. Our D is just going to be different at the end. We'll be doing one triplet on the D, one on the D sus4, and then back to the D for two lots of our triplets. And we do that both times on the D, the first time through and the second time through. So this is our verse 2. Let's do that now. G, E minor 7, C add 9, and our D with our different ending, back to our G again. E minor 7, C add 9, and we do the D the same way again. And that's our verse 2. It's nearly exactly the same as verse 1. It's just our D is a little bit different at the end. Now we have pre-chorus 2. And again, that's nearly exactly the same as our pre-chorus 1. The D is just different at the end. This time we're just going to play the D for two lots of our triplets, and we're not adding the D sus4 in this time. And then we're going to hold. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then hold for the rest of the bar there. So let's play that through now. G, E minor 7, C add 9, G for half a bar, and D for half a bar. Back to our G. E minor 7, C add 9, and our D. So again, nearly exactly the same as pre-chorus 1, it's just a D we're changing there. Our next part is verse 3, and this is where he plays a solo, and again it's exactly the same as verse 1, it's just a D we're changing at the end. So we have our G for one bar, our E minor 7 for one bar, our C add 9 for one bar, and this time we're playing our D, just our triplets there, and all the way through. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's our verse 3. So again, nearly exactly the same as our first verse. It's just a D that's changing, and that's for the solo. Then we have our fill end, and that's exactly the same as our first fill, except the last D we'll play 4 times and then finish on the G. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just our G to finish. Let's go through that slowly. And then our D, 2, 3, 4, and G to finish there. And up to speed. And G to finish. And either just strum down there or finish with the same arpeggio picking we did there. Now if you're new to chords, learn the parts to the song and play it all with down strums if you don't want to finger pick it, because that can be quite tricky when you first start. And when we're doing one bar, we'll be doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. On a half bar, just two lots of the triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Once you can do that, you can go back to the finger picking there and give that a go. So we're going to start with verse 1 and we play that one time. Pre-chorus 1, we do that one time. Then we have our chorus and we're going to do that 3 times. And then our chorus end by 1. Then our fill by 1. Then we go back to verse 2 and the only difference is that D at the end. Then we have pre-chorus 2, back to our chorus for 3 and then our chorus end by 1. For our solo we're using verse 3. Then we go to chorus and this time we do it 4 times and then we have the chorus end and then we finish with our fill end there. So as always, if you're having any problems or there's a song you'd like to learn, leave a comment. Give us a like and subscribe for heaps of free songs and lessons to come. Now if you would like step-by-step guitar lessons for beginners to advanced players and learn all the secrets to playing all your favourite songs and solos in no time, also heaps of free lessons, click the link below and jump onto Essential Guitar Lessons. So I hope you enjoyed this and I'll see you soon.